Hey everyone, hope your day is going well. We are back with another reaction. I saw this new Ringo Starr interview pop up on my feed this morning when I woke up. I said, hey, let me check that out. The link to the original will be in the description if you want to check that out uninterrupted on your own first. And yeah, it's cool. He's about to turn 85. I saw his birthday was on July 7th. My favorite actor turned 85 this year as well, Mr. Al Pacino. So they're from the same year, 1940. It's great to know that, the actors and singers that, their work has meant so much to many of us are still around. And of course, it's bittersweet to also, know that they're aging like we all do, but it's a little bit bittersweet, right? But some we lose way too soon. So I'm very grateful we still have him around. So yeah, he's going to be talking about meditation too. That's a subject I'm very interested in. And of course, the evolution of the Beatles. All right, man. I'm excited for this. Richard Starkey, let's go. Sir, of course.
Yeah,
He's taking a pic.
I love it. Now, of course, lots
Hey.
to celebrate. It's been a big year. Ringo Starr, little Richard Starkey from Liverpool, turning 85. How do you relate to that boy from Liverpool? Do you still?
Oh yeah, you grew up there, and I went through a lot in Liverpool. I went through a lot of joy, and you never forget that. And emotionally, it's still in you, when you were a kid and little gang of you living in the neighborhood. And the school was just over there, St. Silas, and but we did end up when we got up, like 11-ish, that there's other things to do than go to school.
You figured that out early.
And
Hey, me and Mr. Starkey here. We got something in common. There was a plane passing by. Yeah, man, it's cool that he says that, that emotional connection to your younger self and to your roots. You never forget that. I think I've seen Sir Paul McCartney say a similar thing. I can't remember if it was an interview. It probably was like, I'm still that little boy. Maybe it was on Colbert. I'm not sure. That was when I checked out on my own. He said, I'm still that little boy. Without a mirror, you basically haven't changed. So I love that. It didn't go to your head. It's just like I still feel the same way. These millions, maybe in Paul's case, billions, haven't really changed me. I love that, man. Gives me great hope for the future. Before I let it get to my head. I'm joking. Of course.
I have one great memory. It snowed in the night, and we used to have to, when we went to Dingle Vale, we could either take the roads or walk through the park. And we'd walk through the park, and we'd be the first people to tread on them and make footprints in the park. And
Nice.
still, what about school? Oh, well, we didn't have watches, but that's what we do all day.
It was life.
You know?
Yeah.
We take a few days off.
Yeah.
No, it was great.
Well, it worked out.
It worked out, and I became a musician there. My stepdad got me the first kit of drums, and they were old
Nice.
drums. I don't want old drums. I want new drums. That's how stupid I was, because these were great old drums. And I asked my grandfather to lend me £36 to buy this new kit. And he said, where do you think I'm getting the money from? And then, a day later, all right, I'll lend it to you.
Oh, nice.
And I bought the kit, and I'm working in the factory, and I paid him back £1 a week out of my wages. So 37 weeks, he got his money back.
You're on a payment plan. I love it.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it. No interest though. Hey, that's how you do it with family, man. Hey, love that. You see how many things have to line up. Let's, for example, the stepdad, doesn't give that old drum kit as a gift. What would happen? Would he find his way to the drum? What if there was no stepdad? So you play that game. Of course, it's not productive at all. But It's just to highlight how lucky we are that we get some of these people in our lives and have so much influence, with their work and bring us so much joy. I love that. Does Ringo have a memoir out already? Come on, is it out? I don't know, because I've been going on a binge. Pacino brought out a memoir this year. It's really nice to listen to those memoirs on audiobook where the author narrates it themselves. It's like having a conversation for 8 or 10 hours, or sometimes even more. I just finished Geddy Lee's memoir of Rush. I love this. I can't get enough of those things. So please, Ringo, have you got one? Let me know.
When people have a birthday, your average person, they reflect, they become introspective, they think about their wins, their regrets, their losses. When you have a journey as storied as yours has been, how do you reflect when a birthday comes around?
I don't do a lot of that. I mean, it is another birthday, and
I do it too much.
I don't really like to read my age because no one does anything these days unless they mention your age, And as I keep telling people, I'm 24 in here.
That's it.
So if you could
right
start
there.
putting that. It's the beat goes on and you're here as long as you're here. And that sort of attitude I've got.
Nice.
And, I have a lot of great days, of course. Some days are miserable. And life is great. If I look at like that, I have a great life.
Yeah.
And it's a lot different than if I'd have stayed in Liverpool. That's how it is.
And every year to celebrate, you have your annual Peace and Love birthday event. It's been happening since 2008.
Yeah.
Such a joyous
I had no
occasion.
idea about this.
Look forward to it every year. I put it in my calendar.
Yeah.
You ask people all around the
I'm gonna
world
have to
pause at noon.
At noon.
Peace
That's
and love.
all.
Oh, hey, I got to put
You don't
this
even
in
need
my
to say it,
calendar.
just
What is
think
this,
it.
Yeah,
July
yeah.
7th?
As long as you have your moment of reflection, you have your moment of peace and love. So I guess when you take pause and you have that moment, what goes on in your mind and
That's nice, man. I'm going to rewind that for that question. I love that. That is a little bit like a meditation, just pausing, being aware of the moment, almost being in connection with Mr. Ringo Starr there. I'm going to do that. That's something, the tradition that needs to happen, long after he's gone. God forbid, of course. Touch knock on wood here, but that's beautiful. I never knew about this. Oh, this is going to be the first year I'm going to do this.
pause and you have that moment, what goes on in your mind and how do you
love
hope that
that,
people
man.
can carry
That's
that message on past July 7th?
Well,
Yeah,
we know
pause
they do.
every day.
And lately, watching TV and shows who have guests, they coming on going, on the red carpet. So it's, it's out there. And peace and love is what I'm supporting. And that's just how it is. And this came about by accident, as
We need more
everybody
of that.
knows by now. Being interviewed in New York, and then the person said, well, what would you like your fans to get you for your birthday? I said, get me? No, I think it'd be great if they went peace and love at noon. It just came. You know what I mean? It could have been anything, but this is what came.
All
and this
right,
is
all
what we're
right.
still supporting.
Yeah, and it stuck. At the
That's great,
2023
man.
celebration, you told me, your quote was, your meaning of peace and love was that we don't harm each other and that there's no violence. In a recent AP interview, Bono of U2 actually said, and he mentioned you.
Oh.
Yeah, he said, Ringo, he flashes that peace sign and he means it.
Yeah.
He went on to say, the world has never been closer to a war in my lifetime. With things feeling so on edge, do you feel like the message of peace and love is so important now more than ever? Does it
No, I think
resonate
it's
differently?
important every day. And, right now the world is going through a madness, and, maybe it'll help.
I love how he said that you flash it and you mean it.
Yeah.
It's July 7th at noon, peace and love.
Yeah, man. I believe it too. And I guess a lot of fans of the Beatles and Ringo and fans like you too have that similar feeling. And you have a little bit of powerless feeling as well. What can you do? But man, yeah. Spread the love, I guess,
You can trace your journey to peace and love back to perhaps your trip to India in February 1968.
It actually came for me from San Francisco, where the hippies,
Interesting.
they were, great peace and lovers. And then, of course, it changed.
Yeah.
But, I found a picture the other day that the four of us are going. I didn't invent it, I just picked it up. And, John was a big proponent of peace and love. And it came to me and I'm doing it. That's what it is.
I mean, the reason I bring up the India trip is because you went there to meet the Maharishi and to study transcendental meditation, which you still practice.
I do. I did this morning.
Yeah. You've kept it with you.
But I have had years off. I mean, it's not like since I met Maharishi I have meditated. I meditated for 2 or 3 years and then didn't. Meditated for a while and then didn't. This run from 1992, I've meditated every morning.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Nice.
And what
Nice.
caused that change? Were you seeking peace?
I love that. I've been doing it about 5 years now, and in different ways. Also, formal practice, sitting, but also just try to punctuate my days, which is moments of clarity, awareness, to really get out of my, spiral of thought. Sometimes being captured by thought and not being aware of where you are and going on autopilot. It's really changed my life, man.
Every
love that.
morning.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. And what caused that change? Were you seeking peace, or did it find you at that time?
You go round and you get back to where you should be. And I thought, I'm going to start meditating again.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Obviously works.
Yeah.
Hey, the world would be better if
it's
everyone
kinda
does
crazy
it, in
to
my
me
opinion.
That,
My opinion.
that whirlwind of a period of time, what the four of you did was within a just under 8-year
Crazy.
Yeah.
Wild.
time span. And within that time, you all evolved as people so uniquely, and the music evolved in such a vast way. I mean, you listen to the 1962 records and 1970, it's just so vastly different. Is it wild to you, just the evolution that happened within that time?
Well, we were lads and we were changing, and actually the world was changing through the 60s. And, so we got a lot of strength from that. And, and in its own way, the odd drug changed the style. But that was just what was happening in our
That's
lives.
Dylan's fault, right?
But, we didn't get out of our minds and make music. We realized really early on, and I love this, what I'm going to say was that we were drinking cups of tea. The change was great last night when you're out of it, but not in the studio, because every time we sort of got a little high in the studio, we'd play and wow, man, wow, and we'd all go home with a little tape and we'd all come back the next morning, got to do it again.
Tape.
Absolute shit.
I bet you thought you sounded like fire. when you
No,
were
at the
doing all
time, you're like,
Yeah.
nothing
Yeah.
like this. And
That's
so
what
then
happens.
we'd get real, because we were very real when it came to music.
that. Yeah. It showed.
Supporting each other, like Psychic. I knew he was going to go up a bit there, so I would do something. And
connection.
a lot of the great moments in my life was in that studio with those three boys, my brothers. For me, I'm an only child. 3 brothers, for God's sake. And we had rows.
That's beautiful, man.
We had a laughter, So, doesn't everybody?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, of course.
Absolutely. Especially with 4 different varying minds. Nerdy question. You obviously don't spend as much time on streaming services as we do listening to your stuff, but there are so many varying mixes, right? There are 2009 mixes, there are 2015 mixes.
Right.
They just
The
remixed
remasters
everything
and
for the
stuff,
Red and
yeah.
Blue compilations.
I like the remixes, though, the remastering, because you can really hear the drums, and when we started in the mono situation, if they had like this arrow that went, there's the red mark, And, you know, the guys who ran that part, I mean, well, turn it off a bit. No, it's at the top. Okay, but we changed their minds later on.
Yeah.
But that's how we started. We're just incredible that we had made a record. And every time, we knew every time it'd come on because of the BBC, and it's like 11 minutes past 9, they're playing Love Me Do or whatever. And we're always in the same car, 4 of us, pull over and listen to it on the radio. It was like great.
Yeah.
You know?
I like how you say the
Nice.
drums sound great, because in those new mixes, the drums sound unbelievable.
Yeah.
The drums sound great. How do you like to consume music in general? Are you a CD guy, cassette, vinyl, streaming?
Well, I love vinyl. So it's where I came in, and it does have a warmth. You know, now people are doing mixes in the vinyl, and with AI, you know, the good news about AI is that, you know, on Now and Then, Peter Jackson pulled just John's voice out of a cassette, and you can hear him like he was in the room. It blew us all
Oh my
away.
God, that must be correct. Yeah,
You know,
that must
Paul
be.
and I, who finished it 40 years later, yeah, it was so great. So, you know, you wish that that's all they'd use it with,
Yeah.
you know, AI for, but I'm afraid that's not going to happen. They're going to use it anywhere they can.
And it's interesting you
There's always people looking just for the money bag. They don't have respect for the art form itself, and then they misuse it. That comes with every technology. But it's a scary thing, man. It's a scary thing. Yeah, but that's you know, the some of these uses, and it must be really weird, you know, having this voice of somebody spent so many hours with and years with, and then hearing that again just separately, you know, with AI pulling it out, even if it wasn't recorded separately. I don't know what the specific situation was here, but that's quite marvelous, really, if you think about it. Yeah. Damn.
I'm afraid that's not going to happen. They're going to use it anywhere they can.
And it's interesting you mentioned Now and Then, because obviously recent Grammy winner.
I know how far out.
It's crazy, man. And I mean, the journey that went on from 77 with the original demo to 1995 with you, Paul and George in the studio, you know, trying to make it happen didn't really work
I'm
out.
gonna have to
And then
check that
now,
out.
with Peter Jackson's help, being able to give it this new life.
Yeah.
Because of the long road that it took to get to that track, does the accolade of winning a Grammy feel any different?
Well, it's great.
Yeah.
No, the Grammy's great, you know, and we were a bit shocked, you know, even though we loved the track and that.
I'm gonna have to check
my
out that
God,
track.
They voted for us. Okay, you know,
That's
there's
cool,
a lot of
man.
good acts out there right now. So anyway, it's always nice. I'd like a couple more if you don't mind.
Let's talk about.
I love that, being humble, like saying, "Oh, there's so many great acts out there," paying homage to the peers there. But hey, you know, I like a couple of more too. You know, don't get it twisted.
What could get you there? Look up.
Look Up
Up,
got
man.
me further than I'd been in a long time.
Number 1 on the
with my
UK
music.
official country
Yeah,
album
check
chart.
that
landed
out.
some great reviews.
Yeah.
I reacted to it on my
T-Bone
other
Burnett
channel.
obviously presented you songs. You loved them. You added
Yeah,
your
there
spin.
we
You added
go.
your touch. What does a song need for someone to present it to you and for you to connect with it?
Well, you know, out of the blue, in this hotel, Olivia was having a reading of her book, the book for George. And like 50 people, 50,
Oh yeah, I heard
60.
about that book.
A lot of people we knew, hey, how, you know, hey, what's going on? What are you doing?
That's
T-Bone,
George's wife, right?
blah, 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 blah. You know, I'm making EPs. If you had a song, you know, if you had a track and you felt like sending it to me, that would be great. And he sent me a beautiful country song. And I did then get a couple of other people to write songs. I wrote a song, and we had an EP. But T-Bone came into LA, and I thought, oh, you know, Linda Perry did an EP on me. Maybe I'll ask him to do an EP, and we'll see. And he came, we're talking, and so I don't know how. It's the magic of life.
Yeah.
He's talking about, well, you know, I've got a lot of songs. And I said, well, how many songs have you got? Like thinking he'd have a piece of paper or something. And he goes, 9. And he had it on the file, 9 songs. So I said, look, will you produce the album on me? He said, yeah. And that's how it started. And he put it all together in Nashville. Cool. Then he sent me the tracks and I played drums. I gave it that other feel, which I give. And then I sang them all. And it worked a treat. It did. Great.
I'll tell you something you'll get a kick out of.
That's nice, man.
My girlfriend and I were actually in the Look Up video, in the music video.
What?
We were in the Human Peace Song.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Sure, we spent a day in Calabasas.
Hey, that's
for
great.
that video. It came out great.
Being
a
It
part
was a
of
great
that.
video. You know, with your latest work in particular,
really cool.
there's always
That was
an
a great
optimistic end to the story, right? You know, the clouds part, the sun comes out, happy day.
Yeah.
Why is optimism so important in your tunes?
Well, you know, I think I am an optimist, not a pessimist. And that's just how I am. You know,
Nice.
I just feel positive. You know, not every day. Some days catch up on you, and not all my life, you know. But, you know, some of the things I knew I needed from when I heard at 13, it blows me away. At 13 in hospital, really ill, but to keep us busy in the boys' ward, the teacher came in with a little drums, maracas, I've told this story 1,000 times, triangles, and we got to play. But I went, and I wanted to be a drummer from that.
Oh, wow.
You know?
See, that's the thing with telling a story 1,000 times. When new people come in, like me, you know, who's now into this Beatles journey and all of the side quests of solo projects and interviews and documentaries and books. And if you don't do that, you know, I might miss it, right? But if it's out there many times, and now maybe I'm going to hear it in different interviews in different ways and more expanded upon. But now, you know, the seed of that idea and now is with me, and that's a beautiful thing. That you get ill, somebody, you know, comes in with instruments to keep you entertained. It's like, oh yeah, this is nice, and there we go. Oof, that's great, man. I love his optimism, you know, and that's a great lesson. Sometimes you get bad days, even an optimist. Like you said, life catches up. But most of the time, you know, we keep it positive. It's beautiful.
It was far out. Yeah. Oh, man. Yeah. And look what happened. I did pretty good.
You did. And I mean, you're still rocking and rolling today. All Stars are about to hit the road again. You love it, man. You're a band guy. You can't get enough.
I love to play.
Damn, man.
And I love to,
That's
you know,
nice.
as the drummer, you need other people.
Yeah.
I mean, thank God I'm not like a guitarist. You know, I'd be out there with my guitar, yeah.
Can you imagine if they'd handed you a guitar instead of drums back in the day? That would have been wild.
Yeah, slide
imagine the
up
path
on.
of how things would have changed.
Well, we don't
They
know.
can play
do we?
many
No.
instruments, right?
No, thank goodness. You know, I've seen the All Stars live at the Greek.
The All Stars, yeah, we're getting together. We'll be on the road from the 7th of June and doing it all again. I'm only doing 12 gigs now, and then I do 12 gigs in September. You know, I used to do 30-odd gigs, but now that's too much.
It's a lot. Yeah, even what you're saying sounds like for your average person a lot. A couple of things struck me at the show.
12 and 12.
One being the age
It's 25,
demographic there.
right?
You have every generation. You have 7-year-olds and you have 40-year-olds. You have, everyone's singing the same lyrics.
Yeah.
The second thing that struck me was the smiles on everyone's faces. No, seriously, man, leaving the venue, everyone's just happy to be there.
I think my audience honestly have now understand that I love them and I know they love me. And we're here to have a good time. And if only 3 of you turn up, we're still going to play. Yeah. You know. Yeah.
Do you still discover things about your own playing?
Yeah. I don't discover anything, but suddenly I can only tell what space I'm in by the fills, because I can play the regular rhythm patterns. Well, I can play 2/4s, and I can only play 3 3/4 or 4/4. And when George came up to me and said, "I've got this song, it's in 4/7 time," I said, "What are you telling me for? I have no idea what 7 time means." So here comes the song. Do, do. So I had to work it out. Do, 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 do. Okay, got it. So that was a great day.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I wait till it comes along and then I do my best.
Yeah.
And what goes on through the brain behind the kit is that
That's a great approach to life in general. I wait till it comes along and then I do my best. Instead of worrying about things that might come or might not come, which a lot of us do. That's a great. That's a gem right there. That's a diamond.
Are you feeling? Are you thinking? Is it muscle memory? But everything?
Well, I've done it so long now, but the thing, the timing, the regular just doing the rock or the shuffle or whatever, I do that.
Yeah.
But if you sing the song and I'm playing, boom, donk, let's do that, double it up. No idea what I did. It's like I can't double any fill I do. And I actually can't do it again exactly the same next time. It's like something that goes on, and it's like, I like to say it's like I'm in a blackout. You know what I mean? I'm just like, whatever comes, it just comes at that moment because of my energy, my heart rate, my emotional state. That's how it works.
And to wrap up, I recently purchased your book, Beats and Threads, which is a beautiful book, beautifully put together.
Yeah.
Has in-depth specifications of some of your kits, high-resolution photos, and memorabilia, and the
we
drums.
have to thank Gary a lot for that.
Yeah. But, I thought this was interesting. You've released numerous books before. Photograph and Another Day in the Life are both photo books. And I love thrifting. I'll take any opportunity to go to a vintage store. And I found these. So these are both from 1964. And they're both photo books.
Oh, God, yeah.
Isn't that
See,
unreal?
I don't have this picture.
Isn't that unreal?
I'm showing it to you.
Isn't that unreal? But it struck me because I thought, you've been, since 1964, sharing these images and sharing these moments with people. What is it about kind of capturing an image that you enjoy so much and then letting people see it?
Well, this came about because of this. We played Japan and they gave us all great cameras. And I can't look at that. Who took that one?
Isn't that crazy? No, that's a good question. But this
Was
is
it one of the boys or the
it's
photographer?
my Beatles photo album by Ringo, Meet My Friends and Stars.
Okay.
But yeah.
Because I say I took the first selfie,
I
that
know,
one
I've
of
seen
me
it.
in the mirror.
I've seen it. It's pretty surreal. But I just found it
taking
fascinating.
selfies before it was cool.
Since 64.
I'm still taking, I'm still got the cameras. Of course, I've joined the world where mainly 90% of the photos are on my phone. But the cameras on the phone now are so good.
Yeah.
So sometimes I just force myself, get the camera out and spend the day with that and take whatever you're taking. So
That's
And
fun.
your fans love it.
did you see that I put on my toes?
Was it the Get Back
with
DVD
peace
or something?
and love. Not the dogs, Ringo.
No.
Hey man, you know
They
what?
all have something to say, A lot of it is peace and love, but some of them like to shit on me.
No, come on. I think
Hey,
with things like that, it just shows that the audience is hungry for more Ringo content.
Yeah.
It's cool that you're able to post something as goofy as that, and people resonate with it.
Yeah.
It has something to say. What's your relationship with social media? Are you always on it? Are you reading what the fans say?
No, I'm not into it. You know what I mean? I'm on
That's
it.
good.
And I check it, and I look at it, and 99% of the people who answer me are peace and loving.
That's great.
But
man.
there's always
It's a
one.
great audience.
And you just not I've got not to let that one get to me. He's got the right, they think that, you know?
Yeah.
It's not going to spoil my day.
No way.
No,
Yeah,
but I
that's
know
good.
people it does.
It's tough. Yeah.
Someone does
not-
something on the internet and they're like, oh God, you know, they said, so what?
Well, people will sometimes, see a million nice comments and it's the one cruel one.
Yeah,
that
Yeah,
will say,
yeah, but you can't let it live there.
No,
Yeah.
I agree. Well,
Thank you,
mark your
Ringo. That's great
calendars,
advice.
July 7th, peace and love. Ringo, thank you.
All right, thank you, brother. Peace and
Appreciate
love.
it.
Are you ready for 7/7 at noon? Peace and love.
See you there.
Noon, what time? I'm in Belgium, but I'm gonna put that in my calendar. That's great. I love that. So many gems in here, just in terms of living your best life. Yeah, I'm remember that the peace and love. The I just wait till it comes along and then I do my best. That's gold. That's gold, Jerry. Gold. And yeah, and that ending there of not letting the comments get to you as much. I love his positivity. All right, man. Ringo Starr, absolute legend. Very entertaining interview. I hope. I don't know if there's a memoir out there. I now heard he has a lot of books in terms of picture books and stuff, and about his drum kits. But we definitely need one if there isn't yet one about his life. Uh, and of course, there are biographies. There's so many things written about the Beatles by other people, but I never know which one is authorized, which one is really legit. If I see it authored by the people themselves, then it's of course, it's got more street cred because it's by them. Of course, that's obvious. Yeah, looking forward to learn more about all of them and their music. Thank you, everybody, for joining me today. Hope you have a great day. Peace and love.